Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Arsenal, and this is your latest news updates. A lot to get into today. Ben White has been trending today for not just one reason, but another reason on top of that. We will be talking about that, and also the latest on Tomiyasu's call up to Japan. Will he be going? Will he not be going? Also, latest on that. We'll be talking about Martinez's recovery as well. When should he be back? And a lot of transfer news to get into as well, including our search for a backup goalkeeper, or maybe even a first choice goalkeeper. Who knows whether it's going to be the same as it was this season in terms of competition between Drea and another goalkeeper next season. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into it. And let's start with the Ben White contract. Now, yesterday, the first person to announce it was David Ornstein. So let's start with him. This is what he had to say about it. Ben White has committed future to Arsenal by signing new and improved long-term contract. Official announcement expected by end of the week. Previous deal ran to 2026. Fresh terms extended, plus reward importance. Another key player retained by Arsenal. So that was David Ornstein reporting it yesterday about Ben White getting a new contract. Obviously, Arsenal have since announced it today that he has signed a new contract, which is huge for us. You know, we always say it. Yes, it's great to be linked to players like Osimhen and Tony and Zubimendi and signing players like Declan Rice and all that, but you have to retain your players as well. You can add to your players, but you have to retain your big players, your important players. You don't want to bring Ben White and then or sell Odegaard right away, or you bring Saliba and then you sell Gabriel right away. No, we used to do that a lot over the years. You know, the moment Cazorla comes to Arsenal, Fabregas has just left, or Van Persie leaves Arsenal, someone else joins. No, let us keep our best players as well. And Ben White is one of our best players at the moment, and it's huge for us. It's absolutely huge for us. And keeping a player like that, when you were signed back in 2021, I remember 50 million people are complaining about it, and why is it staying? Why are we spending 50 million on a Brighton defender? All this, all that, but it has definitely worked out for us, and he's been really, really good. He came in as a centre back, and he's been covering for us at right back, and he's basically become one of the best right backs in the league since then. And I still remember when Saliba joined us last season, we were asking, now who the hell is going to play between Saliba and Gabriel and Ben White? Tomias got injured, so Ben White had to be moved to the right back position, and that took away the stress of thinking about whether to start Saliba, Ben White at centre back, and all three of them now feature in our team, and all of them, they're going to stay here for a long time. All of them have recently signed new contracts, and together players like Declan Rice, Odegaard, I think will be signing his soon as well. Most of our players, the future is looking bright because most of our players, their contracts are running until like 2028, 2029. I think Rice is running until 2028, 2029 or something like that. Like most of our players, their contracts are really, really long, and it's good to be keeping all of these players. For like there's like 17 18 players in that team that I don't want to be going anywhere in the next 2 3 4 years, maybe even longer than that. I don't want them to be going anywhere at all. I want them to be staying at Arsenal, and that will be huge for us. So Ben White, congratulations on his new contract. How long and all that. So Fabrizio had his say on it as well, and he said Ben White's new contract extension at Arsenal runs until 2028 with an option to extend it by a further year until 2029. So none of these players are anywhere close to their prime. Odegaard, White, Gabriel, and all that. None of them is close to their prime. So by the time they get to like 28, 29, 30, it's going to be looking very good for us. Very, very good for us. But hopefully by that time, we'll be looking back and you're like, wow, signing those players on those contracts was really important. Now look at us about to win our third Premier League title, our second Champions League, our third FA Cup. Hopefully by then we'll have won those big trophies. So Ben White contract signed. That is absolutely good news. Now that's not the only thing that has been going around about Ben White today. The England call-up as well has been going around. Now he wasn't selected for the England team. A lot of people think he deserves to be selected for the England team. I definitely think he should be starting for the England team, but looks like Ben White doesn't want to play for England for whatever reason at the moment, and this is what has been said today. Gareth Southgate was asked about White not being in the squad, and he said, we had a call from Edu last week to say that Ben didn't want to be considered for England squads at this time. For me, that's a great shame. He's a player I really like. I'm not sure about him liking him because he hasn't been picking him for a long time, and I think they kind of fell out during the World Cup when Ben White left the squad. I don't know what happened there. We might never know the full story, but let's wait and see because definitely something has to be going on. So a player can just not want to play for England. It has to be something to do with the manager. And the more on that, Southgate said Ben didn't want to be selected, and it's a great shame. He's a player I really like. I took him to the Euros and World Cup. I spoke to him post Qatar. I was keen to pick him. There was clearly reticence. Reticence? How do you say that word? There was okay. I get it on his side. So he did want to play for it. I've never actually seen that word before being used. That is Southgate using it. You can tell that's why he's the England manager. But yeah, he's not going to be in the squad. He's not going to be in the squad. He doesn't want to play for England, and that's up to him. I guess you can't force anyone to play for their country. Personally, for us, it's a great thing. If a player gets to rest, that means he's going to rest for the 19 days. That's a good thing for us. So let's see how what happens with that one. But let's see if he's going to be at the Euros as well, or maybe he just doesn't want to play for Southgate, and that is what he means. Like, I'm not able to play for England right now. Maybe just means I don't want to play for Southgate right now. I'm only going to be playing for England when Southgate leaves. Let's wait and see what happens with that. So that's the latest on Ben White contract situation, and also his non-England call-up, but all the best to him. Very, very important player for us. Hopefully it does help us between now and the end of the season as well, and for the future years. Next up, Tomiyasu. Tomiyasu is another player who hasn't been called up, and news has come out that he's not going to be playing for Japan this international break, and no news has come out, but the news has come out that he's not going to be picked for the Japan lineup, has not been picked. And I'm guessing that is because maybe he's talked with Arsenal and Japan and been like, listen, I was playing for Japan at the Asian Cup. I came back to Arsenal. I didn't play a single game up to now, and coming back again to play for Japan again and then get injured again. And then I come back to Arsenal for the last 2 months and then I don't play. Doesn't make sense. I think it's better for him to be given some time to recover even more and be ready for us in the last 2 months of the season. I think it's going to be beneficial to us quite a lot. Gabriel Martinelli is another player who he was actually picked for Brazil, but he was omitted right after because of the injury. And Ghana blog had this to say: Gabriel Martinelli is suffering with a deep cut on his foot. Arsenal hope to have him ready to face Manchester City on March 31st. And listen, very important player. Again, I'm an Arsenal supporter, not a Brazil fan or a Japan fan or an England fan. I want our players to, play for Arsenal. So it wouldn't make sense if he went to play for Brazil with an injury. So it's great for him that he's going to be resting. I think Jesus has also not been picked. So it's good. Tomiyasu will remain with the team. Same with Jesus, same with Martinelli, same with Ben White and all those guys. So it's great that all of them will stay input and have a rest for a week or two, and then obviously train with the team for probably that third week. Let's see how it goes. So that's the latest on the international call-ups. There's some players who've been called up: Saka, as always, Rice, Ramsdale, Trossard. All of those are going to be playing for the international teams. England is actually playing against Belgium and Brazil as well, so we might see Saka up against Gabriel on that wing on that side. We might also see Trossard up against Saka on that side as well. Let's see how it works out. Next up, let's talk about a little bit of transfer news. Yesterday, we talked about the goalkeeper being linked to from the MLS. Today, we've been linked to another goalkeeper, this time from La Liga, and this is what the news is saying. According to reports from Spain, Arsenal are following the situation with the Las Palmas goalkeeper Alvaro Valles, and the 26-year-old will have 1 year left on his contract this June. So we are looking at the goalkeeper from Las Palmas. From what I've seen and from what I've heard from Las Palmas fans and fans who are fans of the La Liga, who watch the La Liga every day, he's a very good ball-playing goalkeeper. He plays from the back. He's like David Silva playing in goal. Like, he's very good with his touch, and that is the kind of goalkeeper Arteta would want. And his contract situation looks like they have a bit of trouble with the contract situation over there, as reports from Spain also say. 26-year-old goalkeeper Alvaro Valles is expected to leave Las Palmas this summer. The feeling is that he wants to continue evolving as a player elsewhere. In the winter window, Las Palmas rejected an offer of 20 million euros for him. So people might have to splash even more money than that for him. I'm not sure we can spend that much on a backup goalkeeper, depending on how much we have for this transfer window. Listen, maybe we might spend for goalkeepers like 20 million pounds. I don't know how much in terms of a backup goalkeeper, but he's a very good goalkeeper. For a backup, he would be very, very good, but just depends on our budget in terms of how much we have for a strike, how much we have for a winger. Are we going to look for another defender? Are we going to look for another midfielder? Or are we going to go for the backup goalkeeper first? So there's more on that. There's more on the goalkeeper as well. Alvaro Valles will leave Las Palmas this summer due to the player's refusal to extend his contract. The club president confirmed. And they go and say that they rejected a 20 million euro bid in December. Now, not only us will hunt a goalkeeper or backup goalkeeper, and they're obsessed with signing goalkeepers. They'll also be linked to him. They're linked to him even now. Man City might want a backup goalkeeper. Chelsea might want a backup goalkeeper. So it's not only us who want this goalkeeper, probably some teams from Spain as well. So let's wait and see how that one goes. But we're definitely in search of a goalkeeper. As I said on yesterday's video, it's going to be a huge transfer window for us also in terms of goalkeepers. Raya signing a permanent deal, Ramsdale potentially leaving, maybe Okonkwo, Kalheim potentially moving on. Signing a backup goalkeeper is going to be busy for us in terms of that. Let's also talk about prize money. Now, prize money from the Champions League really helps because that could really help us in terms of the transfer window. And this is how much we made after qualifying to the quarterfinals. Arsenal secured 91.28 million in prize money by reaching the quarterfinals of the Champions League, a record result in the club's history. So we are earning money from qualifying further and further into the Champions League. People usually laugh like, yeah, why are you going to the Champions League if you're not going to win it? No, things like that help. Like gaining experience helps you. If you come back next and the following season, you just keep getting used to it, and you all of a sudden become favorites, and you keep getting this prize money that we really suffered not being in the Champions League for all those years. And there's a season we even missed out on the Europa League. It really damaged us. So qualifying more and more helps Arteta, helps it do in terms of building the team even more, and it can only be beneficial for us. So really, really glad. Let's hope in terms of Champions League, we can progress even further and get to the semi-final. Speaking of Champions League, the draw will be on Friday. I'll be live with that one. Make sure to join me for that one as we react live to whichever team we are going to be facing. Is it Real Madrid? Is it Man City? Are we going to end up playing Man City 3 times in like 3 weeks? Are we going to end up facing Atletico Madrid, a kind of defensively solid team? Are we going to end up playing like a Dortmund? Who knows? Let's wait and see. Last one on Mason Mount. Apparently Mason Mount was supposed to join Arsenal. So this is the news in terms of that. Liverpool and Arsenal were both interested in Mason Mount before his move to Manchester United. Jurgen Klopp touched base with him in January last year, and Mikel Arteta told his confidence a deal was all but done. So I'm not sure about that, but it's coming from someone like us. So probably correct, but it would have been interesting to see how Mason Mount would have fitted at us. I don't particularly think we need him at all, or needed him at all, because we already have players like Odegaard and Smith Rowe and all those guys in midfield. But listen, players like this always usually end up being an Arsenal player anyway. But I think for now we're okay in terms of having Havertz and Smith Rowe and Jorginho and Rice and Odegaard. I think our midfield is good. If you're to get someone, I want a defensive midfield. I think in attacking areas we are quite okay. So that's the latest in terms of that. Mason Mount potentially could have been an Arsenal player. We could have seen this. But yeah, a lot to get into today. Declan Rice, Mount. It would have been crazy. It would have been crazy. But in terms of the latest news today, that's all. Ben White signing a new contract. The England call-up or no call-up. Tomiyasu, Gabriel Martinelli. Transfer news in terms of goalkeeper. The prize money in terms of Champions League. A lot. So yeah, make sure to hit the like button. It was so much news. I'm even getting distracted. I don't know how to end the video. But yeah, I appreciate you guys watching. Be back tomorrow for the draw and also a news video later on. We don't have a football game for the next 3 weeks, so let's see how that one works out. It's going to be good for us to rest for those 3 weeks. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next